Hello there, this is Sherry coming to you live from Salt Spring Island, and today it is chakra number 4 day. So I am a transformational life coach. I do Akashic record readings and medical intuition. So if you are interested in any of that information, then let me know. I'm doing a series here on the chakras, so we're at day 4. So if you haven't seen days 1 through 3, then you should be able to catch the videos of those. So if you are new to finding videos within groups, there should be an area either on the side or up at the top of the group where you can actually go through and look at past videos. Hi Pavlina, good to see you. So we're talking about chakra 4 today. And the fourth chakra is your heart chakra. And we're on the 4th day of February, so we're doing the 4th chakra today. And the 4th chakra is emerald green, like nature, mossy, awesome, earthy green. Very bright, very vibrant, very leprechaun green. That's the color the earth, your chakra should be. And so many people have chakras in that area that are not glowing as well. And I like to describe it as a square because your 4th chakra is actually, it should be a square. So if you think about your 4th chakra being out of balance, then think about the square actually being not square anymore. So if you're an over giver, but you don't allow yourself to receive, then you have a really wide, long side on one side of your giving side on your right side of your square, but your left side is almost squished. So you're almost like a triangle instead of a square, which is not quite as balanced as what a square would be. If you're a really good receiver, which most people are not, but say you're a really good receiver, but maybe you're hoarding on the receiving side and you actually don't give, then you would have the opposite things going on where you would be wide open on the square on your left receiving side, but your right side is squished. So then you end up with a triangle again. And then if you think about the top and the bottom of your square, then if you're extremely earthy and you're very grounded, but you're not connected to your source, which is above your heart, then think about being squished at the top and wide open on the bottom, and vice versa as well. So if you're getting a lot of headaches and you're wide open on the top part where you're open to source and you're open to ideas, but you're not open to like earthiness and you're not grounded and you're not connected, so you can't manifest into the physical, then you will look like more like a funnel. You would actually be wide open on the top and then squished on the bottom. So ideally what we want through that heart space is for you to actually be grounded on the masculine and feminine side, because your square, your heart attaches where your arms are. So if you think of yourself being attached to your upper body and your source, attached to your giving on your right side, attached to your lower side of the body, which is your more like human side. And then, hi Anna, and then on the left side is attached to your receiving side. So ideally, when your heart chakra is balanced, you're a perfect square. And I know that is not happening for many people, but I think many of us could do a much better job with being grounded on all 4 areas. So that would be one thing that I would definitely have you think about doing and planning on doing if you know that, like, say your heart is not as open. So maybe you're not as open to receiving gifts. Maybe you're not as open to receiving compliments. Maybe you're not as open to receiving love as you want to be. So the idea is to be open to receiving, to get that left side to actually balance. Maybe you're an amazing giver, so you're really overbalanced on that side, and you really want to assess how much you're giving and if it's actually depleting you to give so much. And if you're giving too much time, too much energy, and you're doing it as a way to almost cut your mind off so that you're not connected to source, or you're not allowing yourself to receive. So sometimes people actually use overgiving as almost like a self-sabotage or a way to avoid doing other things or doing things for themselves or looking at things in a certain way. So people are like, no, I can't do that right now. I don't have time. I have to do this. I have to give this way. I have to go and do this and do this. And And they're in that doing and giving state because they're kind of scared of the receiving and the spiritual and the emotional side. So the heart chakra is a big one. And it is supposed to be a square. It is connected to your arms and what you're giving and receiving and what you're doing and allowing in the whole experience of why we're here on the planet. So many people will have issues through the heart center with shoulder blades and with like colds and coughs, because that area is all like in the chest and it's in the shoulders and the shoulder blades and the spine. So you can have physical conditions in that heart space if you're an overgiver or an undergiver, or if you're an overreceiver or an underreceiver, or if you're an overdoer or an overthinker. Then you have, I'm making sure my hands are showing you where the square is today. So you want to make sure that your square, your heart, is actually balanced on all four sides. So that is definitely something that you can do to help yourself balance your heart chakra. You could also do the color things that we were doing. So you could imagine a glass globe in there and fill it up with nice bright emerald green light, and pay attention to whether it's actually too big or whether it's actually like too small, whether it's vibrant and green and you could actually like dust it off and spray it clean and add some light in there, or whether it's like, you know, there's a lot of yellow in there because it's like pulling from the confidence, or whether there's a lot of blue in there because it's pulling from the throat. And so the chakra colors above and below can actually rob from one another. And so you want to try to be balanced in all four areas. So if you're not getting enough greens, then that's something that you could add to your diet in order to give yourself some self-love, but to also add some greenery into your diet, which will help your heart on many levels, not just on that, like, I'm eating good food level, but that's a nourishment, it's a self-care, it's a self-love. And it also is one of those pay it forward things, because when you're nourishing yourself, people are watching, and then you're paying it forward because people are doing what you're doing, and you know, then you teach your kids how to eat and all of those things. So it's very connected, as well as just it connected to the giving and receiving, and connected to that sense of people actually being aware and watching you and paying attention. So it has a big sense of inspiring other people from our heart and from our love and from our kindness and from our nourishment. So that's definitely something to look into. The thing I like about the four as well, and the box concept is when we think about the universe is infinite. And if you think about the heart as being the in-between place for the chakras, because if we think of the main chakras being 7 of them, then the 4th one is in the middle, where we have the 3 below that are the earthy ones, and then we have the 3 above that are the more connected to source ones. Then 4 is our center point. And if you think about the law of abundance and how we're already abundant, the heart tends to be one of those places that can block that abundance. And you want that ability to bring stuff from source and from the mind and from thought down into the physical. And so you have that figure 8 happening with the standing on its end infinity sign, where everything passes through the heart. And if the heart isn't balanced in the giving and the receiving, or the heart isn't balanced with opening to source and opening to the world and manifestation, then you can't manifest stuff into the physical world, and you can't experience love from that divine way, and you can't have the balanced relationships that you want, because you're stuck in that place of there's no balance in this heart center. And if you think about it from a physical level, your heart is what pumps the blood everywhere. So if you have issues with your heart, then you could have issues in all the body parts, because it's actually sending physical blood. And so if it's physically not doing its work, or if it's emotionally or mentally not doing what it's supposed to do, then it just doesn't function. It's not balanced. So it's a very important chakra. And it's a connected chakra, because it is connecting the area above and the area below. So you can use the globe, you can use food, you can wear green colors, you can go out into nature, you can You can do a balancing with giving to yourself and giving to others. You can do a balancing of journaling is a really good one to open up the heart, because a lot of times if we don't feel open and we don't feel like we're giving to ourselves, then we can connect into the emotional part of things. It's also huge on manifestation, because manifestation happens with vibration. So if things are vibrating, and that's how the universe, our puppy that we're training to be our vibrational resonance that's going to go and get things and bring them back to us, then the vibration that the puppy as the universe is picking up is based on emotion. And if we're not allowing ourselves to feel the emotions, then we don't really know what we're giving out. So we don't really understand what the universe or what that puppy is bringing back to us. So if you're doing some journaling, then you can get into a sense of, this is what I desire to create, or this is what I'm currently creating in my life. How am I bringing this to me? And then you can connect into the emotions that are coming back to you, and then you can figure out what emotions you're actually sending out. And so that can be a huge insight for people about journaling on actual emotion. So literally thinking about, okay, in my physical world, I'm bringing in a lot of situations where people are angry, or where I feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick. So figure out what emotion it is that you're sending out, or that you are sending out that you're numb to, that you don't know that you're sending out. And then see if you can shift that somehow in your body in order to get the energy to move, so that you can switch that vibration that comes from that heart center to be able to give something else out. So if you always feel like you're getting the short end of the stick, then how do you actually shift that emotion or that vibration so that you're actually always receiving love no matter what? So you're always feeling love, you're always feeling connected to source, you're always feeling love of self. And then that you're sending that out, your puppy that is the universe is going to fetch that back for you. And then you're going to get more things that feel like universal love on all levels. And of course, having the four sides of that square makes more sense for that, because when you're balanced and you're actually coming from a heart-centered place, doing everything that you're doing, then that's what you're going to get back. You're going to get more balance, you're going to get more nourishment, you're going to get more love, you're going to get more receiving. And then as you're getting more of those things back, you have the capacity to give, because you're refueling and your box is more square. So I'm hoping that makes sense. I do check into people's chakras if you're interested in that, and do some realignment. And with my stuff that I do with the Akashic Records, I dig into who you are at a soul level, which is really a deep heart-centered place, and you can learn if you don't know. So it's more about relearning who you are at that deep heart-centered place, and some of the things that you're actually meant to do from a purposeful, passionate place in the world can come up in these readings. And I also do usually tarot card readings associated with the medical intuition, which is not necessarily just medical. So it's not necessarily stuff that's going on physically and mentally in the body, but it could be connected to wealth and relationships and health. And so it connects everything. And the body parts that are showing certain issues are usually connected to thought patterns and emotions that are stuck or numb or whatever in the heart center. So it's all connected. So if you're ready to do anything like that with me, let me know. Just message me and I can let you know what kind of stuff we could do. If you have any other comments or questions, or if there's anything else that you do in order to balance your square, in order to balance your heart, in order to feel more nourished in yourself, or to nourish other people and allow that to come back to you, then let me know. I'd love to know what you do. So tomorrow we're talking about the throat chakra, which is number 5. That's that thyroid, sinusy, listening, speaking your truth, barking at people because you don't feel heard kind of space. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So hopefully your heart is feeling amazing. You are giving and receiving. You are connected to the earth on the bottom part of your box or square, and you're connected to your spirit side on the top. So may you be balanced. May you be having a wonderful Sunday wherever you are. Namaste.